Hey guys, how you doing? Gary Peterson here. Today we're going to be going over cardioversion and pacing with the Philips monitor. So remember that whenever you do either one of these interventions, the monitor needs to be able to deliver electricity through the therapy cable, but at the same time see the underlying rhythm so that it can synchronize and deliver the appropriate therapy with the leads. So we would go ahead and we would hook up our limb leads. It's important to remember that, especially for pacing, if at any point your limb leads become disconnected, it'll also turn off electrical therapy to your patient. So it's really important to put those leads on in a good way and to protect those leads. We go ahead and we take out our therapy cable, we have our pads on the patient, and we go ahead and turn on our monitor. Now when it comes to cardioversion, we can go over that pretty easy. It's very similar to a defibrillation, except the difference is we're going to use the sync feature. So for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and hook up our dummy load, our test load. It's immediately going to start sensing asystole and alarm me of such. You'll hear that in just a second. So we can acknowledge that. When we go ahead and put the sync feature on, that will be this button right here. Now it's going to start flashing sync. As a QRS complex comes across and flows across the screen, there's going to be an arrow on every single complex. Now when we spool up to the proper energy setting and we charge the monitor, it's not just going to deliver electricity when we hit the shock button. It's only going to deliver electricity when this is depressed and the next QRS complex comes up. So you actually, instead of just push and release, you have to push and hold. And we go ahead and push and hold, and it gives the energy. So that's it for cardioversion, so that it's synchronized. In order to take the sync feature off, we push the sync button again, and it is no longer synchronized. Moving on to the pacing function. If we want to move to the pacing function, we simply switch the selector dial to pacer. What that's going to do is going to open up features down here. It's going to show, so you still have the non-invasive blood pressure, but now you have start pacing, pacer rate, and pacer output. Now, it's going to automatically start at a pacer rate of 80 beats a minute and a pacer output of 10 milliamps. Now, I was always historically taught 80 and 80. Because you're never going to get capture at 10 milliamps, but I suppose it's theoretically possible. Very quickly, you have your pacer rate at 80, that's fine, we don't need to adjust that. We've got pacer at milliamps. I'm going to go ahead and use my arrows to bring it up to 80, and hit acknowledge, and now I can simply hit start pacing. As soon as I hit start pacing, it's going to immediately, as long as I have my leads hooked up and my therapy cable hooked up, it's going to immediately start giving that electricity at the rate that I set. Of course, what I'm looking for is first electrical capture, so that it's immediately going to show spikes every single time in 80 beats a minute, and then it should show the underlying rhythm as well. And where you see a full QRS complex following that spike, you have electrical capture. We now assess our patient through a variety of means to see if we have mechanical capture. If we don't have mechanical, let me back up. If we don't have electrical capture, we can simply come over to our output and continue to increase it. And we typically increase it by intervals of 10. So we would go up by 10. Okay, and we can go up by 100, and it immediately makes the change. So that's now at 100. Do we have capture now at 110? Do we have capture now at 120? Say we get electrical capture now at 120. So then we just keep that in, and we're assessing our patient. We're checking the carotid pulse, the femoral pulse. We might be auscultating, and we might not have mechanical capture. We're going to go ahead and then keep increasing our power output until we have mechanical capture. At the point in which we have mechanical capture, we simply lock it in, and now we can therapeutically adjust our rate in order to give us the blood pressure desired. And that's pretty much it. If you max out and you don't get either electrical capture or mechanical capture, then this therapy has failed. At that point, you can simply turn it back to monitor and continue through your ACLS algorithm for the next appropriate steps. So that's your overview for cardioversion and pacing. As always, feel free to stop by and do a hands-on demonstration. Until then, love, protect, and help, and I'll see you guys later.